Well, hello, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are building Azure Delta. So we're here at Wallaby Island because it is time. Let's go to our ground pollution overlay, and as you can see, it's just fading out now. We're now at sort of a white color, which is pretty much not polluted now. So if we sort of just start doing the construction work to get this place developed now, it should be pretty much good to go by the time we're placing zoning down. Our motorway here is becoming a little bit of a disaster. Obviously, this was not the wisest choice how we built this, and that's actually okay because we're going to need to redo this motorway anyway, which I don't know why I didn't think of this when I was building it last episode, because frankly, we don't really want to have this here. If we're building this into a new, nice residential area, we want to actually bury this motorway and have it sort of pop up probably about here or so, just before our spooey. So we're going to be doing a bit of work in terms of breaking this motorway connection, burying it, and then obviously reconfiguring this sort of thing here. And I think what we might actually do, which I sort of discussed doing last episode, but I decided not to, is actually have our motorway here sort of pass under or over, however it'll actually end up being, our through motorway here, and then curving around and heading back over there. So we'll become just one interchange, which should hopefully fix this traffic here, and that kink there probably doesn't help either. But it's going to be a bit of work to make it happen. Am I a little bit anxious about this? You betcha. But I think we need to do it. Pretty much. We're going to need to sever some of our connections. We're going to try and do most of this work unpaused because I think it just makes a slightly more interesting build, because you get to see how sort of traffic is responding to some routes no longer being there and that sort of thing. So we'll take this back. I also did notice while I was editing that I left this single segment of 2-lane highway, and I would have fixed that if I was not redoing the whole thing. I'm going to smooth out some of the terrain here, which is sort of getting rid of some of the stuff we did last episode once again. I might also fix some of this stuff up as well, because this will unlock some development here as well, which obviously is not going to be available right now because we still have a lot of remediation to go, but eventually we should be able to develop in this sort of area here. That is a very, very gross building placement. I know I keep moving this building around, and I'm going to do it again. Better. All right, so what we're going to have happen, let's remove these connections. Let's remove our trumpet. I think what we'll do, we'll use the parallel road tool, and in fact we might pre-grade this section, which should hopefully have it remain somewhat nice. So we might have some cables there, as always. Always dealing with utilities in this game, aren't we? Okay, so that should mean everything remains good. Alright, now I'm going to use the parallel road tool, and we're going to see if we can keep this relatively decent. And as you can see, we've actually got some issues because of that. Actually, that's not necessarily a problem. That means we can bridge over the top. I actually realized it doesn't actually matter. Because we're going to be getting rid of this section anyway. We are, however, going to need to get our ramp set up because obviously we're going to need to have some bypassing happening. All right. Actually, we need a further ramp, don't we? We might actually need to take this one back a little bit, in fact. Actually, we can have this going flat under. Can't we? No, we can't. Never mind. Ignore me. Okay, so we're now fine to disconnect this road because we do have coverage on both sides. I'll just leave it so some of our lost traffic can sort of sort itself out, I guess. Now we need to work out what will happen from here. So I think what we're going to have is... All right, we've got our tunnel entrances in. And I'm wondering if we've got enough room to do everything we need to do. Possibly not. Just trying to just think on what we actually need to get in here. I need to bend one around here, which we might be able to do. Going in this direction will be easy though, I think. Oh, that's way high as well. Let's fix that with a bit of move it. Doesn't need to be anywhere near that high. And we need a little curve around here as well, don't we? We might need to have a separate, or might need to bend it around actually. Sort of bit of almost a cloverleaf type connection. We just don't want to have the conflict that we usually have with cloverleafs. Actually, we don't need that one. We've already got that connection. Yeah. This is going to be a really tight bend, so I don't know if it'll work or not. It looks all right so far. Problem here is that we've got a pylon quite close to the road, but we might be able to... Oh, classic. We might be able to use... I said I was going to be using not pausing for this, and then I've sort of immediately paused and kept paused, haven't I? I'm going to unpause, in fact, then. Now, can we select the pillar. Okay, that's now moved off the road, so that looks like it should be okay. Then we need this sort of connection, which is going to wrap around very tightly. Once again, of course. And this might actually need its own tunnel entrance, because I don't know. If it's going to be able to join on there. I suspect it won't. Ooh, we've got a little bit of conflict here, but fix that. Seeing some weirdness happening, to be honest. I think we should be able to get our simple curve going, or a complex curve. In fact, continuous is actually what we want to do. Apparently we're coming out of the... hang on. Why? Okay, we're okay. I think. But what we probably want to do... What are we overlapping with? Yes. Fair enough. I think we want to try and avoid the coast a little bit. Sort of head on the outer side of our motorway. We're in water. I mean, I know we're in water. That's sort of... Okay, this is going a bit ridiculous. I don't think we'd actually have a motorway that looks like this. Oh well. But we should now... pretty much, if we can just avoid that metro line, should pretty much be able to rejoin this. We'll have most of our connections, I think. It's actually quite a grade. We've gone very deep, haven't we? I didn't realize we were that deep, to be honest. There were 32 meters below the ground at this point. And what's our gradient? 16%. Far out. Okay, we're going to need to slightly redo this. I think we're going to need to start heading back. Or just not go as deep is the other option, of course. Problem is the water. Far out. The water's not even that deep, though. So I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, it looks alright. It looks alright. And I think we've got our connections. I'm not the massivest fan of that one, though. Mind you. Yeah, I think we might rethink it a little bit. We might have a brief sort of a uncovered section so we can make our connections before they, you know, go underground, I guess. Okay, it's decent. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. All right, now, if we're lucky, we should be able to connect up everything we need to connect up. Once again, it's so low. I don't reckon we can actually connect this up because it's such a drop. Guess we can. All right, we'll probably upgrade a brief section of this to 3. Probably a brief section here to 3. All right, is that everything? I just need to confirm. No, we're missing 1. I think only 1 connection. Looks like we're missing 2 connections, so we need left onto Broad Highway, and we need a left onto Elizabeth Highway, it looks like. Ah. We do it as like a, yes. Sort of almost a trumpet style connection. Might work. We have it sort of here. And going down. Or we could, yep, okay, yep. Bloody Metro, always in the way. That's actually quite annoying. But hang on. That needs to go in the other direction, doesn't it? That work? It's not even connected. That's connected. There we go. Is that it? I think so. Nice. This should function completely now, right? I think so. All right, that is completely functional now, I believe. So we're on Wallaby Island now. I know it's not the most realistic thing, but I'm going to, you know, significantly change the topography and the road design here. We might actually break our tram network as well. So what I want to get this pretty flat, which it's looking pretty decent already, but I think I actually did some flattening myself. Maybe actually a little bit lower, maybe just on this major contour. Might flatten it down too. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of flooding. Probably expected. Let's fix our water pipes. In fact, we don't need them. At least not for the moment. Going to wait a little bit for the flow of water to sort itself out. We might actually maybe need to go one contour higher, because this looks like it's probably just going to flood over. Maybe do that one there. That might fix the issue. Yeah, I think we went just a little bit low there. Which, that contour line was fine on the coast, but where we've got water actually flowing down, it was a little bit too low. Now, what I want to do here, I want to have our waterfront with some sort of pedestrian style roads on it. And just have our grid sort of in between those. I reckon that will make this, a nice, desirable area. People will want to come live here because you can just sort of walk along a promenade. You don't have cars getting in the way, anything like that. We're going to try and keep some sort of straight sections here as well, just to make sure. And then we will also have quay walls as well. We still do have some flooding happening. I might just let this run at max speed just for a little bit to see if that resolves itself, or if we maybe do need to go a contour higher. It is looking like we probably need to go higher again, doesn't it? I'm also slightly dredging out the river as well, just to make the flow a little bit easier. Still having a marginal little amount of flooding. Yeah, it looks like it's still going to happen. So this is going to end up a little bit higher than I originally hoped. But I think it'll still look really good. It looks like we're doing well now. I'm not seeing the flooding start up again. So now, let's get our pedestrian roads in here. So I'm going to lay a selection of straight segments here that we're able to sort of join up with. And then we're going to have curves between those. All right, so we've got our pedestrian roads all around it. So now I'm going to see if we can take these down a little bit. Of course, we also need to put in the quay walls as well, don't we? Good job. And I wonder if we could do any smoothing to make it look a little nicer. That looks pretty good, actually. Just at this bit that we could probably go a little bit deeper, couldn't we? So we get rid of sort of the more beachy vibe water, right? Other than that, I think, yeah, really good. All right, lovely. So we've got our key walls placed down. Now it is time to get some grid in. So I do want a reasonable amount of space for a large park. I'm thinking this section here where we've got already, a fair bit of tree life. So I might sort of section that off to start with. Like so. And yeah, now should be able to get a nice grid in. And we need to keep in mind that we need to get 3 bridges into this area. So we might start by having this bridge come in. We might even relay it so it's a nice straight bridge. Going to remove all my beautiful lane mathematics as well, which is unfortunate. Like so, not like so. Ugh. Why? Can we not keep them the same distance? Oh, man. A little bit better. We need to get our gridding in and we need to start getting these plots developed. And so what size grid do we want to have here? 14 by 20 maybe? Now, we probably do want to have one of these roads as a collector, and I'm probably going to be Coleridge Street. Just because we've already got sort of the connection there, don't we? And then we can have a road going on sort of over either side to join up with our existing connections that we had. All right, one new connection, and then we've just got this side. There we go. We've restored the road connections. And now I'm just going to finish off this grid. And we should be able to start placing down some services. Right, so it looks like our grid is all in place. I might just add an alley into this block, just to allow us to use that space a little bit more easily and more effectively. But yeah, it's time to start to get our services in. So we're going to get everything in first. We might try and center some of our more noxious users on or around our sort of major road entrances. And I think we're going to get a full hospital in this area as well. We might need to modify our grid to make that happen, but that is absolutely okay. Our education is gone completely stuffed again. 82,000 elementary school students eligible. I don't believe that. And for our park area here, we're going to try and get something nice and large. I'll get our plaza in and we'll just surround it with some other park assets as well. So we've got so much stuff. So we've got so many amenities here now. It looks like, oh, wow. Okay, I need to select an operating district for this, but it's not looking great though, is it? Now we've got one sort of massive, unique building here. Actually, it's not even that massive. It will fit on our grid. And I think if we're having sort of mostly higher density, I think it's going to look pretty decent. Yeah, I don't mind that actually. So we're going to have majority high density stuff in here. Of course. Also get a bit of high density business as well. Bit of high density office. Interesting, we just lost all of our demand for everything. I wonder if does that handle demand for high and low density? I'm not sure, actually. There's a lot of households that have immediately moved in there, I can tell you that much. I wonder if we could get a sports park in here as well. That might be... that might be a bit much. Oh, hang on a sec. We can... I reckon... that will actually go in there. Do we just need to or de-zone this? Soccer field, I think, is a bit... In fact, it's actually a bit smaller. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. I get a bit of medium density here just because I don't think high will fit in that square, nor do I think it make much sense to have high there. We do need to reconnect our tram track here though, don't we? We might expand it onto the other side as well. Just sort of for future use. I think we're not going to be using it right now, but I think it will possibly do well potentially in future. We need to fix up our stops as well. There we go. So I really like that we've been able to fairly aggressively develop this area while still maintaining, you know, some green open space. So I think it's a success in that regard. What's happening over here? These are all zoned, right? Yeah. We just don't have any demand for that type of building right now. What I might do is add a bit more sort of trees around this area, and we might add a few sort of little interesting tidbits around our signature building and things like that. And we've got a little bit of a block here that we probably aren't going to put any buildings down on, so I think it makes sense. I also noticed we've already got a dead person, so we might get some death care in here as well, which I did forget about. Now, what we can't forget to do before we finish off is to get our metro station in here. We're just going to do a standard underground station. I don't think there's really much else we can do here. And in terms of the placement, we've got this area right here that we can pretty easily hook into, to be honest. So I'm going to pause for this because we're going to break our metro lines, but I think we should be able to link this in without too much trouble. Actually seem to be having trouble hooking up there. Oh no. No. No, terrible. I've got anarchy on as well. Just part of the problem. Okay. Trying again here, or you know what? The trouble we might have here is that we're actually it might be alright if we make a quite dramatic turn in water. Okay. I think that's good now. Maybe. Can't tell, it doesn't appear to be having issues, but it's not. Hang on. It's turning around. Can't have that. Let's see if we can get a new station stop added in here. Apparently there's an issue. Something's not hooked up properly. Yes. Those are not hooked up properly. Okay, hooked up now, yeah? Right. Yes. Okay. So there we go. We've got a subway stop for Wallaby Island now as well. Well, how about that? I'm pretty happy with how Wallaby Island is looking now that it's been redeveloped. The waveform tower, I think, is a really cool sort of central part of the build. And we've got a nice variety of use cases. Obviously, a lot of high density residential, office and commercial as well. But we do have some low and medium density in as well to look after those sort of use cases as well. We also buried the motorway that would have sort of cut through this new suburb as well. So I think that's a really good decision to do that. And it frees up a lot of extra sort of public land for, the community to use. So that was a good decision as well, I think. That's going to be about all we've got time for in this episode though. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. If you want to help out at home, you can do so by popping on to patreon.com/BobDendry, by becoming a member of the YouTube channel, or you can also just leave a super thanks on this video as a one-off thanks for the content. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.